Stephen Cleveland Grover was born on March 18, 1837 in Caldwell, New Jersey. His parents were Richard Fally Cleveland and Anne Neal Cleveland. His father, Richard, was a Presbyterian minister while his mother was a stay-at-home mom, the traditional role of woman at this time. Stephen was the fifth child out of nine between the couple. His father died at age 49 in 1853, and his family moved to upstate New York after his death. Not a huge amount is known about his childhood, but one story is that kids in his school called him Big Steve on account of his weight. So when he grew older, he dropped his first name and went by his middle name, Grover. Grover began to work for his family when his father died and his education took a hit. He got his education another way, though. He worked as a clerk for a law firm in Buffalo. He accumulated enough knowledge to pass the bar examination, and then he opened his own firm in 1862. A small note is that he paid a fee of $300 to evade the draft during the Civil War. This eventually led him to be the district attorney for Erie County. This would not be the only position of power that he would assume in Erie County. In fact, he became the sheriff for Erie County in 1881. He served for 2 years, and in 1863 he left the sheriff's office. His political career escalated very quickly after this. He ran for mayor of Buffalo and won that position. He was chosen because the city's politicians were extremely corrupt and the government needed reform. After this accomplishment, he ran for the governor of New York and also succeeded in this adventure. As he would do in his presidency, he exercised his veto power by using it 8 times in only his first 2 months. This was about the only exercising he did, and at this time he got another unfortunate nickname due to his weight, being called Uncle Jumbo. In 1884, Grover Cleveland won the presidential nomination. He had made some enemies while in his previous positions, such as the group Tammany Hall. Tammany Hall was a political group that was famous for their attacks on the corruption of William Boss Tweed. Tammany Hall would later support him when he won his second election. Cleveland ran under the Democratic Party, but he also received some Republican supporters called mugwumps. They believed that their candidate was incapable and Cleveland was the better option. During his campaign, a scandal came to light where he paid child support. While in office, he married Frances Folsom, who happened to be 27 years younger than him, and his ex-partner's daughter. She was the youngest first lady in history, and they had 5 children together. During his first term, Cleveland reduced government spending. He took an isolationist foreign policy and lowered protective tariffs. Grover Cleveland ran again but lost to Benjamin Harrison. After Harrison's first term, Grover ran again against him, and this time came out victorious. When he stepped into office, he stepped into a financial crisis, where the stock market crashed and unemployment soared to 19%. Cleveland is the only president to this day to be president in 2 non-consecutive terms. He served as the 22nd president and the 24th president of the United States. His policy as president was more of an overseer of Congress that monitored what they did. During his presidency, he accumulated the second highest amount of vetoes ever used, 584. The only president who used more was Franklin Roosevelt. One thing he did was the dedication of Statue of Liberty in 1886 as a gift from France. Despite some who wanted Grover Cleveland to run for a 3rd term, he politely declined. After leaving the political scene, he traveled to Princeton where he was a trustee until he passed away. In 1907, Grover Cleveland fell from a heart attack at the age of 71, and his final words were, "I have tried so hard to do right."